Welcome around the herd, everyone. It's been like 2 weeks. Got a little busy, kind of forgot about it, but we're back.
Back.
We're going viral still. It's gonna happen eventually. Miss just talking ball with the boys.
Oh yeah.
How you been, Julio?
I've been all right. I've been pretty busy myself, so honestly kind of forgot about it too, but it's been a pretty good 2 weeks of football. It was nice to learn a lot. I feel like the past 2 weeks we've teams have really separated themselves, you know what I mean?
I get that for sure. I think we've let our takes kind of digest. We might have a lot, to get
Mhm.
off our mind. Things we've been thinking about. I feel like we can just talk whatever. I feel like we don't need to go
Yeah.
through like a schedule or any preview. You want to
No, yeah.
start as we typically do? Some college football. We got a
Yeah.
decent.
Should we talk about the upcoming slate? Did anything big happen the past 2 weeks?
Um,
What was that big? Oh yeah, Washington, Oregon.
Washington, Oregon game of the year. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was an awesome game. Just all around, that's what college football is about. Uh, they're
Atmosphere is great. I think Oregon's a good football team. I think I don't know.
But
This might be a little crazy, and it might be because I had money on Oregon. I still think they're like a little bit better than Washington. I know they lost; it was on the road, but I think like in a neutral site game, I still think it'd be a great game. I think they're both pretty good teams. I think Oregon probably has the edge a little bit. I don't know. It was a great win by Washington. They put themselves in a great spot.
it was an awesome game. It was like one of those games where you bet on either side and you feel like you made the right decision. Like they
Mm-hmm.
were so equally matched. Like at the end of the day, it really just did come down to Washington was at home and Oregon was on the road. Like Oregon did seem a little bit better. Like they made a few stops at the end or in the second half. But like those both those teams looked great. Neither of them lost the game. They were both like there until the end. This is the one thing that worries me about the Pac-12 though. I feel like all these teams are like this. Like they're not going to play down. Like they're not going to lose a game. They're all pretty good. It's just like it's going to depend a lot if you're on the road or if you're at home, and that's like not good for the Pac-12 because they could just beat each other up so easily. Like, I mean, awesome game. Both those teams are fucking good. Is my takeaway.
Yeah, it's rare to have a game people are like hyped up about and that lives up to it. And there's games that are people hyped up about that are like close and like remain interesting. But like as you said, where like both sides thought like they really like won that game or like had a
Yeah,
chance to win time. Yeah, I texted you that right after the game. I was like, this is the start of Pac-12 cannibalism.
literally, and like it sucks so much because it was slating up to be like perfect with the field goal at the end of the game to take us to overtime. We fucking deserved overtime, but it just wasn't meant to be.
It was nuts. And you know what sucks for this Pac-12 cannibalism is that USC lost to Notre Dame is in like the transitive property with
Yeah,
college football playoff. It is not going to be good for the Pac-12 because if
no,
USC, Washington, and then
because they've zero Pac-12 losses still.
yeah, it's gonna get ugly in the Pac-12. Which have they? When was the last time they had a playoff team?
Washington, like a
Was it
long time
Washington? That's what I
ago.
was thinking about.
I can't. Maybe did Oregon make it recently? I don't even think so.
Has Oregon made it since
Have they made it
Mariota? Or
since
lost in the
Mariota?
South?
I don't think they made it since Mariota.
I'm looking it
And
up.
the Pac-12 like became a joke for a little bit there, like, and now they're like fully back. They got like a bunch of good teams.
Well, they're not fully back because they're gone next year.
They're literally fully back the year that they're disbanding. I
I saw a
don't care
great
how
I saw a great tweet when it was like whoever's run the Pac-12 was kicking themselves right now. Like Pac-12 is like the best show on turf right now.
it is.
Um, I thought I'd be able to get a quick Google answer, but it's making me go through that.
I feel like it's got to be that Washington like Jake Browning team, like when we were in high school.
It's 2017. Yeah, Washington. That's insane.
Yeah,
17.
nuts, nuts, crazy
It's
stuff.
also look. I just looked at like the college football playoff and the four-team format. It is literally just recently, just like Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson. It's insane. It's like the same.
Yeah, I bet looking at it like just year by year is hilarious. Just how
Same.
little it changes. Um, what was I guess the other Pac-12 takeaway from this past weekend was USC getting pretty dog walked by Notre Dame. I feel like we all saw this like coming. Like we all knew USC just they were electric, but they can't hang with the big boys. They don't got what it takes, like defense or special teams, to just like win a tough game. Kind of just confirmed like a lot of people's beliefs about them.
Yeah. I mean, that game, if you're a Notre Dame fan, do you love that game or do you hate that game? Because they took USC, they dominated USC. And that's so frustrating that they lost to Louisville and Ohio State. Like they could have beat Ohio State. The loss to Louisville was like a complete letdown. So they're completely pretty much out of the playoff conversation. It would be a crazy thing if they would make it.
Yeah.
And then they just run over USC. And like that's got to be like this is a good Notre Dame team. But they just have no.
Yeah, they're good. They're actually good. Like this is like the best. This is a better Notre Dame team than any of those Brian Kelly teams, without a doubt. It's tough, but like it is their rival. I'm sure it was their Super Bowl. Like they stormed the field. Like they needed that. Marcus Freeman needed that. Good for him. I think he's a good coach. But yeah, USC. USC. I mean, the thing is that they're not out of it. They're gonna have these big games down the stretch. Their offense is still electric. Like they still have Caleb Williams. I mean, they could make some noise still. It's weird. That's the Pac-12. I would hate if my team was in the Pac-12 because it's just such an uneasy feeling. You're gonna have tough games going down the stretch, and then who knows who's gonna be in the Pac-12 championship? And no matter who you play, they're gonna be tough. And the Pac-12 championship is probably gonna be like the ticket to get into the college football playoff, and you have to like make it there first. It's tough. It's real tough.
I will say credit to Caleb Williams. He just saved months of content for NFL draft. Like this was run signing up like the most obvious Caleb Williams one. That's still gonna happen. But for months leading up to the draft, we're gonna hear about like I don't know, Caleb, remember that Notre Dame game? Like people are gonna try and convince themselves that it's not gonna be Caleb Williams at one. Just want to remind you, it will be. But I love like he looked bad. You're starting to see like he wants ownership of teams. Like there's gonna be so many storylines just to build a storyline around number one picks. It's gonna be him.
It's hilarious because this is like the perfect. They're gonna use this to build the opposing narrative because they can. Because he looked like shit for one game, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme.
I'm just so excited for in like March when like Drake May's odds for number one are just gonna like shoot randomly, and it's gonna be like what?
Yeah,
and then it's gonna be like 2 weeks later, it's gonna be like no, it's still Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Speaking of Drake May. UNC is sneaky undefeated in the ACC. They win that, they're going to the playoff probably.
I think we as a country should come together and say no ACC team should make the college football.
I agree. We should start that campaign.
We got a couple campaigns on this show that I really like. One, we're on the Devon Witherspoon campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Great time to be on that campaign. And then I think the ACC campaign we can get on.
Yeah, so ACC just banned them from the playoff. I mean, they just beat Miami. I don't even know if they play Florida State in the regular season, but Miami is the only other good team in the ACC. Oh, actually Louisville, but actually Louisville just lost too. Nuts. Fuck the ACC.
None of them are very good in my eye test. But Florida State beating LSU is going to get a team from the ACC in the college football playoff.
It's tough. Like I'd much rather have Oklahoma and Texas make it than an ACC team.
I'm right there with you. All right, let's move. Both want to talk about the game this week. Ohio State, Penn State. Big noon kickoff. Hate that. Absolutely hate it. Like, what are we? I know Fox wants to push this, but like that's got to be a night game.
You know what it is? Like Fox signed big noon kickoff and
they need to put Ohio State in these noon kickoff games to like earn the revenue for the entire year. Sucks.
Yeah. It's so annoying because like I feel like Penn State Ohio State's always at night, and it's usually a pretty good game.
It's always a good game. It's like before getting into like a preview of it, it's weird looking at the past 10 games that they've played. Penn State's won one of those times.
I know, but
I
it's
always feel like they're so close, but Ohio State's won every single time. And the last time was in like 2016. Like we were sophomores in high school. Like I remember it, but like that was a long time ago. That's the only one they've won in the past 10 years. Like if you would have told me that without showing me the record, I wouldn't have believed it. I don't think.
it's pretty nuts. I listened to a Joel Klatt episode today during lunch, and the storylines around this game are actually kind of interesting. It's like he was talking about how Penn State's been the biggest bridesmaid in this college football 14 playoff era. Like if this was a 12-team playoff, they would have been in like 6 or something playoffs, but instead they've been in 0 just because they're stuck behind Ohio State and Michigan.
That's actually crazy.
And like this is their best team probably in this entire era. And if they lose to Ohio State and Michigan, that's going to be like, is James Franklin on the heat? Like it's just the same thing. Like, are they ever going to do it? And then the other way, if Penn State beats Ohio State, they have the best chance to probably make it from the Big Ten East, which is kind of crazy. Because if they beat Michigan, obviously they're in. If they beat Ohio State and Michigan, they're probably going to make the playoff. They're going to win the Big Ten championship. They beat Ohio State and lose to Michigan. If Ohio State beats Michigan, Penn State goes because it goes to the 5th tiebreaker, which is other side of the division opponents in the Big Ten, what their record is. And Iowa is the best team in the Big Ten West, and Penn State beat them. So Penn State would go. It's a 3-way tie. It's so funny.
That would be insane. I mean, I don't want that to happen, obviously, but if they all beat each other once, like
they should all be in the playoff realistically. Like I would be. I don't want it to happen, but it would be hilarious because
like
it'd be crazy.
I honestly don't know what the committee would do because if that happened, they each had one loss, they beat each other, and like Penn State goes to the playoff or the championship game, wins it. Like they probably have to because they're a Big Ten champion.
They have to put Penn State in,
And then like Ohio State or Michigan, like it's probably whoever won that head-to-head game has like the better shot of making it.
But like if it's a close game and it just came down to the last, like that's a crazy hypothetical. Maybe we're speaking it into existence.
It's crazy. Ohio State's just going to take care of business. How about that?
I agree. I think it's going to be an awesome game. I mean, at least I hope so. It's going to be at noon, which does kind of take away a little bit. But Ohio State's a little bit banged up. Who knows if Egbuka or Travion Henderson or Denzel Burke left in the second half against Purdue. But like honestly, I don't know if you watch the Purdue game that much, but McCord looks like he's like settling in, like playing good ball. And like at the beginning of the year, he wasn't playing great. Like he did have a great last drive against Notre Dame, but like now it's looking like he's like a lot more confident. Like this offense could like take another step. And that's, I think, what should scare Penn State. Because like the defense has been solid all year and they're going to be solid against Penn State. Like Penn State is not like a great offense, or they haven't been great offensively. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think McCord is just going to be the better quarterback, and I think that's going to be the difference.
Are you going to Champaign this weekend?
I'm not, unfortunately.
Tough. I don't know what I'm going to do to watch this game because we're going to be tailgating for the 2:30 Illini kickoff.
No, you need to find a tailgate with a TV nearby and just like periodically stop in and out.
Yeah, I know. I want to like. I was thinking about it. I was like, can I just bring a TV? But then I was like, how do I get power? Like, I don't have like a generator.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to find a lit tailgate.
I know, it's insane. But I'll probably just watch it on my phone if we're being realistic.
Yeah, hopefully the cell service holds up.
Yeah, but damn, that's unfortunate. You won't be in Champaign.
Unfortunate for sure.
All right. Well, I don't really have much else to say. I'm excited to watch that game.
Yeah, I'm just excited to fucking watch it. Also,
Yeah.
Brock Bowers being injured sucks. That's all I'll say because I have a feeling he might not play again.
Yeah, he's one of those prospects. I think that's a pretty good transition. We were getting into it a little bit, yesterday with Kirka about the Bears.
Oh yeah, that was a good
I think we could-
conversation.
I think we should have the further that conversation. What I don't know. What do you think about the Bears spot right now?
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. It's tough. There's just not a lot to be positive about, like realistically. I mean, I think DJ Moore is great. It's definitely a positive, but and like the O line is like not terrible. Like Darnell Wright's looking good, so that's positive. But it's just gonna have to start like fresh. Like you just need it to turn over new quarterback, new coaches all over the place, new a lot of defensive guys, like just new culture. It's like nothing from this year you want to translate to next year. At least so far. Who knows if they're gonna like turn it around and start playing like feisty down the stretch, but like nothing this year, especially just like culture wise, is like something you want to go into next year with is kind of my thing. Like the offense looked good like 2 weeks ago, or like the 2 weeks prior to this week, but like the defense was still getting worked and like they were still in these close games and like kind of almost blew that Commanders game. It's just not. I don't know. It's like I think they're gonna have to move on from Justin Fields. Probably trade him like at the end of the year. And I mean, first and second pick right now would be fucking amazing to kind of catapult that. But new coach, maybe new GM. Not too convinced either side for the GM, but definitely got to get some better coaches in place. And hopefully it's Caleb Williams at quarterback or Drake May. I honestly really like Drake May, but gotta start fresh and just build from the ground up. Like can't really take anything from this team, I don't think.
Yeah, it's such a weird spot, and there's so much of the season left where like it sucks to root for losing, but at this point it is like the best thing for the future of the Bears,
Yeah.
which really blows. But like if you
Yeah.
wind up with 1-2, like that's an insane start to like a rebuild from
It'd be
last
like
year.
unprecedented because like I mean nobody's ever gone 1-2, I don't think. And especially in a draft like this where like the top two guys are like far and away the best two guys. So if you just wanted to flip one of those, you'd get an insane haul.
Exactly. I go back and forth in my head about twice a day because I'm constantly thinking about this. I fucking love this shit. But like the idea of like part of me is like I do think Justin is a good enough quarterback. I think you're totally right in the coaches. Coaches got to go. Eberflus a defensive guy. We've had a horrible defense. Like defense shouldn't, and it matters talent obviously, but defense like I feel like it's more about like energy and scheme and anything else more so than maybe up front. It's about just like having a freak. But we haven't done anything with Eberflus. Offense looks bad. So I think it's got to be an offensive coach for either Fields to develop or for the young quarterback to develop.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with you on the GM thing, but I get it. If they wanted a full restart, fine. I think Poles has done a pretty good job. I don't really blame him for much yet. That may change, but I go back and forth in my head about like if you keep Fields and you trade back one, that's probably gonna be like a pretty historic call because Caleb Williams is like nuts.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a chance you get if you trade back two. I don't know. Like there's also this draft what you mentioned is crazy. Like probably the top quarterback prospect in quite some time, the top receiver prospect in quite some time, the top tight end prospect in quite some time, and the top left tackle prospect in quite some time. So besides the tight end, those 3 of the 4 premium positions for the draft, and you have like the top prospect. Like the fact that the Bears, if they don't do anything but get 1-2, could walk away with 2 of them. And they could probably walk away with 2 of them, keep Fields, and get future draft capital if they trade back from 1. I don't know. There's so many options. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Marvin Olu would sound so sick, especially if you could trade back. But the right decision is probably reset that rookie quarterback clocks. 5 years of Caleb Williams where he's making under $1 million. Like Bryce Young's making what 750,000 this year. Like with
Nice.
the amount of money the Bears have to spend in free agency, the picks they have, like if they took Caleb at 1, traded back 2, and then somehow got, I don't know, top edge rusher that's like still decent, or Marv or Olu, anything like that, like
Yeah.
be in a great spot. And we'd probably possible. So that's probably the right thing, but I do love Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I love Justin. I think he's definitely good enough to be a starting quarterback in the league, like above average starting quarterback. But yeah, like you said, his contract's expiring. Like, what are you going to pay him? What kind of deal would you even give him at this point? And I mean, to put somebody through like 3 coaching changes within 5 years is just, it's not going to work for anybody. Like, so, I mean, 1-2 would be like the dream start from ground zero, but it just sucks. Like thinking in the back of your head, they're going to fuck this up somehow.
They're going to, but I don't know. I have faith. I think Poles, he swung and missed on Claypool, but in the way that also like got us the number 1 pick that he then turned into DJ Moore and Darnell Wright. And maybe this 1 pick. So like, there's things I haven't hate what he's done. The Roquan thing, like I think that was more of an Eberflus thing. Roquan's been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't DJ Edwards or Tremaine Edmonds. Like Tremaine Edmonds is I like it for the like it fits. He also has a front loaded contract. So we have no like
obligation
For a few years.
But the thought of Caleb Williams with DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, maybe a top tier left tackle, and then you can they have the most money to spend this offseason. Like build that defense. I don't know.
It would be literally the dream start to like build a franchise from the bottom up. But like the thing is, like from the bottom up sounds great, but the Bears are like bad from the top down. So it's just like I don't know how you manage that situation.
I do think they've taken steps. I think Poles actually knows what he's doing a little bit. They hired someone outside to finally run like operations, Kevin Warren. I know that's not like the most exciting. Not a lot of people love him, but he knows football a little bit. He's been in organizations. He ran the Big Ten. Like they're putting people in spots to like do things a little better. But I don't know if it's going to take a full
more organized. It's crazy how dysfunctional it was before.
thing. And Virginia's just got Crow. Rest in peace, maybe. But
I mean, she's lived a long life. I'm not gonna lie. She's lived a pretty awesome life. Besides the Bears sucking for like the last half of her life, but
their fault.
Literally.
But it's exciting. I don't know. Anything else?
It's exciting. That's the thing. It's exciting and it gives you hope, but maybe that's like the worst part of it because it's like,
do I go full rooting for the other teams again? Like,
the thing is that we can kind of root for the Bears and also just like keep rooting against the Panthers. Still,
I know. But I'd rather have 1 and 2. I've been watching the Panthers games because I've been so interested and they've lost them all. They're kind of frisky.
They're becoming like Bryce Young is getting better by the week.
I know, and their defense is pretty good. And Thielen somehow is like gotten 10 years younger. They're gonna win some games.
And they're trying to trade for another wide receiver.
Yeah, they're gonna get like Jerry Jeudy or something, and they're gonna like win like 3 games, and it's gonna fuck the Bears, and it's gonna do nothing for them, and it's just so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know because I feel like Justin Fields is gonna the trade deadline's in like 2 weeks. They're not gonna trade him before the trade deadline, but he's gonna come back. I feel like he's just good enough to win a couple games.
He is, yeah. And like the NFL
more now, like
all those guys play so you can't like not play hard.
They're gonna play like they're basically auditioning for the rest of their career. Like it's tough. I mean, the best thing to do would probably be to ship him before the deadline, but they're not gonna do that.
I would love to see. We've talked about this a bunch. Atlanta should be calling every day. I think Justin Fields in that offense would be so electric.
It would be awesome. And Desmond Ritter looked awful this past week. Oh my god!
Like that I would become like a Falcons fan for the rest of the year for this little squad they have built. It would be
electric. In those black unis, they would be like the fastest, most dynamic team. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm worried about with the Bears is like if Fields plays, they're gonna win some games.
Yeah, I agree, which is not good. But like it is good, but it's not.
Your Ravens got a big one this weekend.
Yeah. In London, 8:30 in the morning.
That's a London game. I didn't.
It was a London game.
No, I meant the
Oh,
one.
the Lions coming up. That's gonna be a fucking big game.
That game's
I'm
gonna.
excited. I am kind of a certified Lions hater. I don't get why everybody just loves them and like. I mean, I get it because like the offense is electric this year, but like for the past few years, everybody kind of pitied them, and then they're glad that they have success. And I mean, I'm glad they have success, but they're 5-1. I don't think that they're the best team or the second best team in the NFC. Maybe I'm just like biased, but I do think the Ravens will take care of them. Like the Ravens, like Lamar, they beat the Browns pretty soundly, and Lamar went like off against the Browns. And now you see the Browns just beat the Niners, and they haven't given up any points to anybody except for the Ravens. It just seems like the Ravens are type of team that like plays down to the level of competition, but then also plays up to the level of competition. So kind of bodes well for them in this case because the Lions are good. But I am kind of a Lions hater, so maybe I'm just a little biased.
Yeah, I do like the Ravens this week. It's in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a good game to watch. What is it? Is that the 3:30 slate?
I doubt it, but I hope so.
I hope it's not at noon. I don't know what any of the prime times are. I think tomorrow night is like Jags Saints. So
I literally don't even know what the Thursday night game is. It's kind of crazy. Yep, Jags Saints. You're right.
what is
The
this week?
Ravens are at noon. Like, what the fuck, man?
Like when do we start? When do we start? When do we start flexing?
Games. I don't know. I should be early in the season. Like, you can tell pretty early on when games need flex. Okay, Sunday night next week is sick. I don't know if you know. Dolphins Eagles.
Oh, I actually think I did hear that.
That's sick. I did not know that. That's so dope.
Oh, that's this weekend. I thought you
Yeah.
meant. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so nice.
That's
It's
fucking sick.
long weekend, and I'm gonna be like having anxiety, and I'm gonna be like, wait, I got Dolphins Eagles to take me home.
It's gonna be so nice.
Wow. We haven't had a Sunday night game like that all year.
The Cowboys 49ers was supposed.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was,
It was awful. Wait, I want to hear your take on the Chargers and Justin Herbert after that Cowboys game. I have some opinions, like not too big of opinions, but
I don't really have too big of opinions either. I don't know what to think with the Chargers. They're like a pretty good football team, but they're nowhere near a complete team that can like actually compete. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like Herbert looks good, Keenan Allen looks great, and they're just gonna be Eckler's awesome, and they're just gonna be the same
Khalil
team.
Mack had like 5 sacks in one game this year.
Yeah. Joey Bosa, they're just gonna be the same. Derwin James, like they're going to be an 8-9 team or 9-8 team forever. I feel like a little above 9-8, but never over
like wild card contending.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
know. It's uncanny how much that they can just like lose the game. Like it's not like the other team wins the games. It's like the Chargers are losing it. It's like so stereotypical every time. It's kind of absurd. Like I think Justin Herbert's amazing, like top like 6, 7, whatever quarterback in the league.
Rivers.
He's literally just Phil Rivers reincarnated.
He's
Like,
Phil Rivers.
He's good enough to probably win a Super Bowl if he was on an elite team, but instead he's on the Chargers and they somehow fuck it up every time. And like sometimes he'll play out of his mind and they'll lose a game, and then sometimes he'll play like shit and he'll still lose the game, but no matter what, it's gonna be like a 3-point game. It's stupid.
Fucking Chargers, man. The Bulls.
I think they're actually cold, or I think they're actually cursed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always remind myself as a Bears fan right now. Like we're at the bottom, which is almost a better spot to be than like I don't think I'd want to be a Chargers fan right now. Uh, who else? Who else would be a good example? Like a Commanders fan.
Yeah.
Uh, like there's like
Falcons. I mean,
Falcons,
Falcons would be pretty cool. That's quarterback.
Steelers. Like they've just been
Ah,
stuck.
Seahawks. What do you think about your Super Bowl team?
They're still super. I don't know what you mean by that. That's a crazy insinuation that they're stuck in the middle. They are getting there when they get healthy. They're going to be great. They took the Bengals team to the end. They should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
Gino's starting to get on my nerves. I will say that.
That was a very infuriating watching Geno Smith at the end of the game.
You see, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but like, there's like JSN was wide open for a touchdown on the second to last drive or something like that.
The fact that they're crazy. Gino is addicted to Tyler Lockett, which like spec to Tyler Lockett. He's like awesome. I also loved it, like the clips of him, like 10-minute highlight tape of him like catching the ball over the middle and going down on the ground immediately.
Immediately.
That's my favorite thing about Tyler Lockett. But I don't know. They're still Super Bowl. Witherspoon, that's all we need to talk about. When you have the best player in the NFL on defense, your team will be good eventually.
Agreed. Yeah, he's good enough to probably take him to the Super Bowl single-handedly, I think.
I mean, defensive rookie of the year. It's Witherspoon, Carter, and then I don't even know where else you look.
Me neither. It's just clear cut at the top. Speaking of Witherspoon and the post, I just sent it before we recorded.
Amazing.
But like the Illini football and Seahawks like did like a combined post and talked about Devin Witherspoon playing great, and Jamar Chase commented on it saying like hold that L whatever, and he got ratioed in the comment section. Whatever, it's funny. But is the NFL turning a little bit NBA? Like they're starting to publicly beef on social media. Like this league, Debo and CJ Gardner Johnson was hilarious.
It's good. I love this league. We're also, this might be a transition, but we're approaching the best time of the sports calendar year. It's about to get. We have October baseball, which like I'm not a baseball guy. I've been watching some. Like definitely got second TV going. Hockey just started. NBA starts the 24th. We're about to have college basketball. Good question for you. Give me your top 5 sports to watch in order. And
like
when
sports or like leagues?
Like leagues. Yeah, leagues.
Probably NFL, college
Agreed.
football,
Okay.
college basketball. I'm just gonna playoff baseball, then playoff NBA. That would be my top 5.
I'm pretty close to you. I'm NFL 1, college basketball 2, college
All right.
football, NBA/playoff NBA 4, and then 5
Playoff anything.
golf playoff anything. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, tennis is electric too. Low.
I love like golf, F1, good tennis, big tennis majors, and
Yeah,
anything playoff.
I agree. Lump it all into the same category.
Amazing. I don't know how that came out. Oh, my mom was talking about hers. She put college basketball 1, and she put college volleyball 2. She's been grinding women's college volleyball. It's kind of electric.
I bet it is electric. Like it's women's, right?
Yeah.
I think like they take it fucking serious. It's like
women's professional sports. Like I'm a firm believer women's volleyball is more fun to watch than men's volleyball.
100%.
Why does that not have like a professional league?
I don't know.
Maybe we need to invest.
We should invest.
It's very watchable. Like
What's electric?
Like volleyball, whenever it's on like the Olympics and stuff, it just draws your attention. It's an entertaining game.
It does. And just like those college environments get kind of rowdy. It's like the way right now it's like Wisconsin #1 in the country and Nebraska too. Like I just love the teams.
Yeah.
Then it's like Stanford and like teams out west, but like it's sick.
That is sick. What do you think about college basketball this year coming up?
I'm so excited. The boys were texting about college bat. Like we're starting to get more and more messages. The Illini, number 25 in the country. Love where we're at. Love where we're at. I
Love
love
it.
20-ish spot.
It's just enough recognition to feel excited to start the season, but still have a chip on your shoulder.
Oh yeah, I love it. We got a brutal schedule this year too, which can be awesome. We have a lot of good games.
I am like so out of the loop with. I feel like so much happens in the off season of college basketball. Like players transfer, coaches,
Oh, yeah.
teams get better and worse. It's gonna take me a little bit to get my feet wet, get adjusted back into college basketball, but I'm excited.
Actually, first couple of weeks, I'm like, holy shit, Max Asmus is on Texas.
Yeah, like yeah, somebody
Or
said
like-
that. And I had no idea.
Like neither. Like it's gonna take like 2 weeks to be like, holy wait, who's there? Like, holy shit, that's that guy. I watched him in the mid-major last year. It was electric. You never miss. Now,
I don't know if there's like a different sport comparison to Feast Week, but like Feast Week is almost unrivaled. It's just like such a cool little week of college basketball where these random teams are playing against each other in random places. And like it doesn't really mean much, but at the same time it's so entertaining to watch and it just gets you like going.
I love it. I also, when Steve texted about Feast Week, in my head, I was like, I should probably like, at what point do I take off that Thursday, Friday of March Madness off work?
I was thinking that in my head just now because I was thinking, is there any
Equivalent to Feast Week? I'm like, well, fucking conference championships and March Madness is the best time of the year of any sport, I think.
I agree. It's just so nice, like 10 a.m. You got like a great game.
Yeah, it's all hours of the day.
Hey, like in class. Like I think I might work in conference championship week and just like bring an iPad and just pop up and be like, guys, I'm sorry, like I got it.
It honestly makes it better having something else to do while you're watching the game, like having something you're supposed to be working on.
So great. And then just being like the classic, like, yo, come look at this. Like this is the fourth quarter, like 2 seconds left. And then everyone gets going, and then they hit a crazy shot. It's overtime.
Great time to be alive, man. March. The podcast might be at 1 million followers by March, but stay tuned until then.
By then, but we're on the slow grind. We'll see. I haven't posted like even on the social medias, which I was doing for like months before this was a thing. I just forgot about it completely, to be honest. I don't know what happened.
It was a busy time. The leaves started turning, distracted us.
Exactly. All right, Beast. Great epi.
Yeah, it's just a good recap for the past 2 weeks. Hopefully we get Dworsky back on, but who knows with that kid?
Who knows? I know he's got to be at the train at like 5 a.m, so he's probably already asleep.
Yeah. Probably already hit the sack, but great epi. Tune in next time. I have no idea when the next one's gonna be, but
Fastest growing podcast in the world.
oh yeah.
I have like a thing with like all the followers, and I haven't updated in like months. So
There's probably like 1 million more by now.
yeah, if we might be over like 110 on Instagram. I don't know.
Let's go.
All right, see you, Beast.
See ya.
Love you guys.